ship it.
Okay.
Because USAID has been shut down.
All right, Benny.
I'm sorry. Like,
Benny?
That's not constitutional or legal.
Okay, Benny.
It's incredible. So I've heard the Constitution thrown around a lot here. All right, let's talk about Article 2 of the Constitution.
What's going on, you guys? We have Sam Seder clashing with Piers Morgan. They are discussing USAID, Doge, and Sam Seder and Piers Morgan. It starts to get a little heated.
Sam, let's talk for a moment about the other big thing that's going on, which is this whole Doge stuff with Elon Musk. You, I think, posted that the idea that Doge is in any way about efficiency is absolutely a joke. They're not doing an audit. They're destroying the apparatus of our government. What do you base that on?
Well, audits are done regularly of agencies by inspector generals. The first thing they did was to fire all those inspector generals and not replace them. A. B. Audits that lead to firings within a couple of days are obviously not being done. The notion that this is about efficiency when you're laying off thousands of IRS agents, when it is well known that every dollar spent at the IRS returns for the government $6 or $7, you're clearly not talking about efficiency here as measured in any other way other than allowing wealthy people to get away with cheating on their taxes. I mean, I could go on, but there's absolutely no evidence that there's a single audit going on. To the extent that they've saved any money, it has been largely dismissed as clerical errors on their part, and we still have no substantiation about it. So it's
well, that's not, hang on, that's not true. I mean, some of the stuff that came out about USAID, for example, some of the way that American taxpayers' money was being squandered on ridiculous projects.
Oh, wait a second.
And it wasn't insignificant sums of money.
Wait a second. You can determine that you can have an opinion that it's squandered. I can have an opinion that it's squandered, but it's been appropriated by the Congress. And in America, we have actually both statutory, constitutional, and court cases that say the President of the United States and the executive branch cannot decide unilaterally that they're not going to appropriate money that Congress has appropriated. I mean, the line item video has been found to be unconstitutional. We have the Impoundment Control Act from 1974.
You know, Piers Morgan is making a great point. You know, if he doesn't have to actually worry about this country, you know, if Piers Morgan is making this much money to where he can leave this country whenever, then it doesn't matter if someone's, you know, tearing down a wall. Oh, you know what? I didn't really like that wall anyway. I didn't like this part of the structure anyway. I'm glad. Yeah, just keep on taking apart this house, this government, to keep taking apart this machine that is still taking care of an entire country, right? You know, it's like, I didn't really need it anyway. You know, I sort of like the view. You know, you can keep on, and it's just one man who is tearing down all of these different parts of the machine, and it's going to, you know, come with some consequences. But Piers Morgan isn't going to have to feel that. And Sam Seder is saying, you know, this is not one man's job.
We have Train v. New York City from 1974, which is a Supreme Court case which enforces that. What they're doing is fundamentally illegal. I mean, you may think that some of the spending is not worthy. I may think it's not worthy, but that's just not the way our government works.
Okay. Gillian, you were shaking your head there.
Because it doesn't seem that the government is working. As a layman, when the USAID is exposed in the fashion that it has been, and all of a sudden we have this transparency that we've never had in my lifetime.
None of this stuff was hidden at all. None of this stuff was hidden at all. It's just that
so you're telling me that the average American knew that we were funding friggin' operas for trans people in who knows where?
If the average American was interested in what USAID was supporting, they could have just gone to the website.
Do you really believe that?
Yes,
do you really believe that people knew this and this was common knowledge? And there's no question that some of this was a slush fund for the CIA.
Well, actually, you know what? The truth is, you can both be right here.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
Sam is right that it was there to be found, and Gillian's right that absolutely nobody told the American people about the specifics. So actually, you can both be right.
You know what can happen in our process of government?
No, I understand. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I'm not saying it wasn't there to be found. But Benny, it was only when Elon Musk and his young team of guys
who
with their
found it?
sabers got into it. They found this stuff, right, and told
They
people.
didn't find it. They just they publicized it.
Well, exactly. But
And-
that's how the
and
yeah, but Sam,
they
that's how the
don't
American
have
but Sam,
authority.
that's how the
They
American
don't
people found
have
out about
authority
it.
to cut it.
Yes.
So Congress, Republicans control every house of Congress. They control the presidency. They could pass a bill tomorrow saying we don't want to fund these things. But what's happening when they cut USAID is you've got literally 400,000
And Sam may not mention this, but of course it's going to be Elon Musk who is wanting to get his hands on the IRS information. Of course he is wanting to, he's going to make all these things seem like these are some left wing. These are the woke enemies that are in USAID. We have to dismantle all of these things. When in reality, these things for USAID are soft powers to keep the United States stabilized, to keep power in check. This is soft power. It's not really a benevolent factor. These are things to help other countries out as far as not being a threat to the United States. Elon Musk could care less about that. Elon Musk could care less about the IRS, what they do, because he wants to get everyone's information for his next thing, X money. He's running something now to where if he can get more of them, just people's information and know how much they're spending, how much money they have, it helps him with his own database.
meals for children who are technically wasting away. It's in Africa. Maybe my guests don't care about that. But the fact is that they're sitting in warehouses in Rhode Island and in Georgia right now, food that is pre-digested practically because these kids are starving and it's sitting in warehouses, it's going bad, and they have no way to ship it because USAID has been shut down.
All right, Benny.
I'm sorry.
Benny?
That's not constitutional or legal.
Okay, Benny.
It's incredible. So I've heard the Constitution thrown around a lot here. All right, let's talk about Article 2 of the Constitution. The executive branch has a clause called the vesting clause. The vesting clause makes one single man that is elected by the whole American people the only position in the federal government that has the entire whole of the country elect him is the President of the United States, who is vested with the power to oversee the executive. And that includes congressional spending. That includes the functionaries of the government, including the commander-in-chief. There are appointed judges. There are elected at state and local levels, members of Congress, but only the president is elected by the whole American people. Now, I have a giant map in my studio. I don't know if your production team can pop me. There it is. This is what America decided in 2024 in a landslide, and with the popular vote, the whole of the American people decided to vest a single man, Donald Trump, to hunt down waste, fraud, and abuse. Because while maybe there are some type of programs that you might view as just, what I view as just is feeding the American people. What I view as just is filling the potholes, educating, healthcare, and the capacity to serve Americans.
To cut food
and
stamps.
so what America voted for was America first, and transgender operas in Chile isn't
If you guys like this recap, like and subscribe for more.
exactly America first. And to say that USAID was
said
simply
a lot of words, but you've said nothing. You haven't addressed the Constitution, the Supreme Court cases, the Impoundment Control Act. None of that. You can say that you don't think it's right to feed starving children in Africa. That's your prerogative.
How federal money
to feed
is
starving
spent.
children?
Donald Trump. I can't believe you're going with the starving children. You're going with the starving children.
No, it does. I mean, it does other things that you don't like.
All right, let me.
But it also does this.
Chaps, allow the lady in the room to speak,
Was there
please.
more USAID money spent?
Chaps, let Gillian have her say.
On feeding starving children or a
Guys,
coup in
let
Ukraine in 2014.
guys, let Gillian speak for a moment.
So there we have it, you guys. We have Sam Seder and Benny Johnson really going at it. They are in a pretty heated argument. And yeah, it's just clear that we're going to continue to hear the same right-wing rhetoric where it's like, oh, Trump is the president. He can do whatever he wants. Yes, Mr. Dictator, I'm glad that that's what you're opting for. Like, he's completely taking these executive orders and blowing it so out of proportion, using it to put his own loyalist in. But, what do I know? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.